Hey, Colin Folk here, and we are back with another installment of Out of the Vault. I'm excited about this one. We're going to fast forward a little bit because otherwise it'd just be me with a bunch of early steel pan videos. We'll go back to those at some point. So we're going to fast forward to April of 2014 and probably actually rewind about a month. This is a great story for me. It's kind of a personal one. I grew up in the world of surfing. I grew up in Southern California in a surfing family. My dad surfs, my brother surfs, his wife surfs professionally. So I grew up in that. I worked at surf shops. I surfed in the ocean, that whole thing. So I was aware of famous surfers, and I had heard in the late 2000s, I think, that there's a surfer who I am a big fan of. His name's Dave Rastovich. I had heard that Dave Rastovich had two first-gen hungs. Fast forward to, I think, 2011. It turned out that Dave and I had a mutual friend, and this mutual friend had told me that those instruments were in bad shape. They needed to be tuned, and there were some other problems with them. And he sent me two pictures of, which I'll show you. I remember I asked if I could get in touch with Dave Rastovich, and our mutual friend put us in touch. And I sent Dave an email just saying, look, I heard about your hungs. I know someone that can fix those, and I'd love to buy them and invest in them and get them kind of up and running again. I didn't hear back from him. So then fast forward to 2014, my friend, the mutual friend, was back in Australia doing some film work with Dave. And we kind of started the conversation again. And so this time the email read a little different. It was, I am now the person that can fix those. Since the last time I emailed you, I have gone down this path of learning to tune and make, and I can do that. So my offer now is I will make you a brand new instrument, one of my own, as a straight swap for one of your first gens, sight unseen. And I'd heard that they were rough. So Dave and I had this great conversation. He agreed. My friend brought it back from Australia, San Diego, and then from San Diego it was sent up here. So where this video starts is when this hung arrived at my house and the initial opening of the box. I had heard it was rough. I didn't know at the time that my wife had filmed me, so this is a completely raw reaction. So we'll start there. Here we go.
First impressions?
Super rough. Super rough. I mean, the ding is like the same as the first note. It's gonna be so much work.
All right. That was a pretty raw reaction there. I was rather shocked. I had heard, I mean, this was 2014. I had heard about hungs in bad states of repair, but this was the first one I'd ever seen in person that was that rough. I mean, so the center note, I know the scale was supposed to be, so F ding, B flat 3 start, harmonic minor. And the ding itself was pushed all the way up to a B flat, meaning it was, what is that, a fourth sharp, which is terrible. So what we're going to see next is I took it to my shop and kind of started going over it and discovered there was some more things going on with it than I had initially seen at the house. So let's see what I discover. All right, just got the hung. Here's what it looks like. It looks like it was severely rusty and someone buffed it out with some type of, looks like a radial sander or something, and then got this curious stuff on the bottom. I took the pad off already, but there was some exposed rust, and this is a mic jack, and there's all kinds of wires inside. This is where the battery pack was, just I think velcroed in around here somewhere, so I'll have to take that stuff out. Some pretty severe surface rust and some weird adhesive that will come off. It is a Gudu, so it's got a second hole. Here is what it sounds like out of the box today. Okay, so there was a lot of work to do. So the original scale was supposed to be harmonic minor. I retuned it to a harmonic minor, and the top two notes were really cross-talking and muddy, and kind of they would activate each other almost 100%. So I opted to take the 7th note and bring it down a half step to make it just a minor scale or Aeolian, and that helped a lot for the health of the instrument. So that process was about a month. I retuned it, and then most things really wanted to move again, so it took a couple rounds of tuning until we landed at this state. So let's see how we did after that month of work. So the story continues on. I left it as Aeolian for a little while. There was a few things that were going on with it where it also kind of hinted that maybe it wasn't happiest as a minor scale. So I then brought it to Romanicos. So I went up a half step on, I think, the 4th note. And that was better. And then again, kind of hinted that another note, if it went up a half step, I think it was the 3rd note, that it would be even happier. I think the notes were kind of loose or something. So I did that, and then it landed at Mixolydian and was its happiest and healthiest it had been in the whole retune journey. And so that's where I left it. That instrument is still around here. I get to play it on occasion, and it's a really lovely instrument. So continuing the story with Dave, he was scheduled that fall to be coming through the area, and he anticipated that he would have a few days off here in San Francisco in the Bay Area, and he was going to come up to my workshop, pick up an instrument, and then we would kind of complete this transaction, this trade or swap. What ended up happening is his schedule got rearranged, and he had a 4-hour layover in San Francisco airport. So, and his travel of the day, I think it was, he went from Iceland to, I think, Florida, San Francisco, 4-hour layover, San Francisco to Hawaii, and it was like a couple days in Hawaii, and then Hawaii back to Australia. So he had this massive travel leg. So he flew in, I drove down, he came out of security into the terminal, to the baggage claim, and I brought his instrument, and I think it was a limoncello or something of that, an 8-note variation in D, and then I had also made another D major, so we had two that we got to play, and it was great. I got to meet this longtime inspiration, and I didn't hold back. I said, look, before we jump into everything, I'm going to tell you that I'm a fan, and here's why, and now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's come into my world where we can, jam and play some music. And I think he had a small guitar or ukulele with him too. So that kind of completes the story. It was a really great one for me. It was a funny crossover of like a previous life crossing over with current life. It was wonderful to meet Dave. Fixing that hung that early in my career, taking something that was that out of tune and really breathing some new life into it was a big confidence booster. Beyond that, the before and after video ended up being a great digital business card for me, meaning that if you were curious about my retune services, I would just send you that video and you could be the judge. So I think that's it. That wraps it up. So out of the vault. I'll see you for the next one.